Years ago, I pioneered a strategy to instantly find cash buyers that I call the neighborhood flipper method. What's great about this strategy is it's fast, it's easy, and you can do it for free right on Zillow. The strategy works so well that I've never not found a buyer using it, so long as I actually have a good deal. So in this video, I'm going to show you 2 live calls I just did so you can see how this works in action. Coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Cash Buyer Directory with over 200,000 cash buyers nationwide. Get it now at freecashbuyers.com.
Recently on a coaching call with my students in my Fast Track program, I was helping a few of them with their deals. One deal was in Merced, California, and the other was in Colorado Springs. Both were on-market properties listed with agents, and both were under contract significantly below the list price. And both were looking to find a cash buyer to wholesale their deals to. Within minutes, I showed them the fastest and easiest way to find a buyer using Zillow or Redfin. Now I'll briefly explain the process and then cut to the call where you can watch me actually do it. Step 1 is to go on Zillow and zoom into the area where you have your deal that you're looking to wholesale. Step 2 is to identify the highest price sold homes during the past 6 months that are close by your deal. Step 3 is to take a look at the pictures and the description to see if it was a flipped home. You'll know if it's a flipper if it's been remodeled, it's vacant, and sometimes if it's staged. Step 4 is to look at the price history and see what they bought it for and how long it took them to resell it. Step 5 is to contact the listing agent that represented the flipper and tell them about your deal and ask if their flipper is looking for another deal. Now, the agent will be motivated because if their flipper buys your deal, they'll get another listing on the back end. And don't worry, if you're new to this, I've created scripts for exactly what to say and how to overcome objections, and I'll give those to you for free. I'll put the download link in the description below for you. Now let me show you what this looks like. The first call on the deal in Merced, California, I did not give the agent a price, nor did I talk about the agent getting paid on the deal. On the second call in Colorado Springs, I gave the agent the price, and I talked about how they were going to get paid for taking the deal to their buyer. So let's watch both calls, and then I'll talk about why I handled each one a little differently. Let's cut to the calls.
This is a rehab, but it's a Home Depot special. So look at what this flipper did. This is what I would call a very smart flipper. They did not do everything. The outside look of this is screaming, 1980 to me. They didn't do anything out there. They didn't do really anything to the landscaping. They put in some laminate flooring. This is literally like on sale Home Depot cabinets. This is the cheapest granite you can buy. This is a $2,500 kitchen appliance package. They went bare bones. They did not smooth the wall, so you got that textured walls, which is totally out of style. Super basic, everything basic. So let's go down here and look real quick at this. Yeah, so look, this sold for $265. So this is your buyer if you want to try to wholesale it. This is your buyer. This closed on 11/14 for $265, and then they immediately listed it for $453 on 2/27. So in less than 90 days, they bought it for $265, put it back up for $453, and they ended up selling it they sold for $435. So what I like to do is call this agent and talk to them because they represented that flipper. Oh, hi, is this Billy? Hi, Billy, calling you because I have a property that I think I'm looking to sell. It's on De Anza Court. You might have seen it. It was listed. Yeah, we have it under contract right now and deciding if we want to tackle it or not. We've got some bids around 100 grand to finish it.
Okay.
I see that you just listed and sold a house over nearby, north of there a little bit.
Yes, there was one right there on La Jolla and another one on Purdue that was around the corner.
Okay, so you looks like you represent some flippers in the area.
Yes, sir.
Might they have an interest in this one if the number works?
Absolutely. We've been watching that one, and at the price that it's listed at, it doesn't pencil.
Yeah. What number works on that?
Let me reach out to my lady that I was just talking to about it, and I'll call you right back.
Call me right back with what number you would need to be at on that one. So let me talk about my strategy with this. Nita, that was one call with one flipper with an agent. That's how that goes. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think this agent's doing all of this? I never said I'd pay her. Why is she calling up her flipper? She's going to get another listing on the back end and make another commission on 430. So you don't even have to offer them money to do this. You just have to present it to them And did you hear her? She said, I got another one that I did. So that might be the same flipper or maybe another flipper, but she knows the market. She's in the area. They've been watching this deal. See, I love it when stuff's priced a little high and then you and I are not afraid to go in and offer lower. This agent is probably waiting for this to get down before they make their offer. So let's see what they come back with. Maybe they're skinny margin flippers and they're volume flippers, and they would gladly pick that up for $255. There we go. Here's a flip. Look at how nice this is. This is beautiful. That's real close too. They've spent some money on this one. Let's see what they bought this for. $370. So they bought it for $370. Took them 6 months to do it. They listed it at $599. Fell out a couple times, but then they got $599. Easily spent $100 or so on that thing, maybe more. They probably are into that thing for $500, sold it for $600. You know, that's a good buyer right here. I'd be calling this agent that represented the listing. Hi, Lorian. My name's Jerry Norton. How are you doing?
Well, you.
Good. I'm calling because I've got a property for sale, and it's close by a flip that you guys just sold recently on Valley Road, 735 Valley Road. That, by the way, that was a beautiful home. What did they spend on that? They must have spent at least over 125.
Do you know what he put into that? But it wasn't the finishes. He had re-engineered the back so that to make more space, because there was like a ramp and a like weird kind of porch back there. But
well, anyway, I noticed that you listed that for a flipper. I've got a property that was on market. We have under contract right now on Kiowa Street. Anyway, we've got it under contract at a pretty big discount, we think, and we're just trying to decide if we're going to take it on and flip it, or, you know, we got a lot going on, so maybe pass it off to another investor that wants it. Is your investor looking for another deal?
what's the address?
West Kiowa.
Can you pull that up, please? And so you're wondering if
Yeah, if let's say your buyer wants it and we agree on a price, we would just assign it to him for a few bucks more than we got it.
you're under contract for less than it was listed at.
Yeah, quite a bit less. Yeah.
He's under contract for quite a bit less, essentially trying to do a small wholesale.
Yeah.
What would you want him to pick it up for?
I mean, if we moved it to you for $325, we'd make a few bucks and move it, which I think is a good deal.
We'll call our other people too.
And for people too.
If you want something on top of that, just add your fee on top of that.
Well, yeah, we do.
So we'd want $325. So whatever you would want, put that on top of that.
Yeah, we usually too. So
Yeah, maybe you don't need to then if you relist.
a smaller fee on the buy side, and then
He would cover that when you bring it to him?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we won't worry about that.
I just gave it to my partner, but he has it. He'll make the calls, and I will save your number. I'll get back to you.
Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Bye.
Okay, so on the first call in Merced, the agent knew the property. Her and her investor had been watching it. She did not ask me for a price, and she did not seem to be worried about how she was going to get paid. On the second call, they seemed more like hustlers. They asked me the price I wanted. They mentioned that they had other buyers. So in that scenario, I felt the right move was to give them the number that I wanted and to talk about how they were going to get paid so that we were clear about who was paying them a commission. Either one works. You really just need to make a judgment call based on the agent, how they respond to you, and what you feel is the best way to handle that. Now, will either of these agents' buyers want these deals? Time will tell, but the point is I only called one agent doing the neighborhood flipper model on each of these deals. I found that if I call about 10 to 12 similar agents, one of them will have a buyer that will want my deal, assuming I have a good deal. Now, if you can't find 10 to 12 flips close by your deal, you can look at active listings, or you can expand out your area to find more. Now, the reason this method works so well is because flippers love to do deals in the same areas that they've previously done deals, and you don't need to track down the buyers. The listing agents already know them and will sell your deals for you. Now, if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, leave a comment and say, "Thank you, Jerry, you are a flipping genius." Now, finally, this is just one method to find cash buyers. There is another method that I use that works really well using a free software called PropWire. So next, watch a video where I show how to find 50 local active cash buyers in under 20 minutes. Watch that now, and I'll see you on the next video.